Good morning and welcome back to Urban Center. We are very glad to have a great host today. So, city of Kastav, that is a city near Rijeka in Croatia. And it's peculiar because it's a very, very beautiful town, but it's very, very innovative. So here we will have a presentation. So we will introduce Urban Center to the city of Kastav, but we will have the pleasure to hear about how town can develop through innovation in different sectors. So I'll give the floor to one, I think, of the main represent the main person that represent the this innovation path that Kastav has started to go through the innovation in a between something that is really tourist center, but try to become an innovation point of reference. So I will introduce the Kresmis Vidovic, the head of city of Kastav, administrative department for finance and development, that is in charge for the innovative project of Kastav. Please.
Thank you, Barbara. First, I would like to thank you, Urban Center, for inviting us, and I'm pleased to greet you in behalf of my team, who is here with me, and in behalf of City of Kastav administration. We are very proud on this collaboration with Urban Center, and we hope that this is just beginning and that we will have opportunity to work on many other projects in future. Just a pointer, please. Okay. So this is a center of Kastav. Kastav is a typical small city in Croatia. It is fortified with the medieval city walls and is overlooking to Adriatic Sea. We have a really good geographic position. Kastav is near to Croatian port Rijeka and just a few hours from cities like Ljubljana, Trieste, Zagreb, Venice, or other cities. We have around 11,000 inhabitants. We have generous social programs, good infrastructure, and high communal standard. I must say we are very proud on our entrepreneurs. City of Kastav administration is trying to help them by different financial support programs like grants for getting some equipments, machines, or digitalization. We also work on giving them, co-financing them investment rates for loans, business loans. And we have industrial zone with over of 20 companies and have plans for further expansion. In Kastav, there is around 500 companies, very successful companies, and around 250 craftsmen. I must say that lately, one of the most popular topics is smart city. All our projects needs to be smart, green, and digital. But we're very proud that we're one of the first cities in Croatia that adopted smart city development strategy in 2017. And following this strategy, we implemented a series of projects in fields of green and digital transition, and still working on many other projects in that topic. I will show you lately some of them. Very important for small cities like Kastav is to attracting financing from Europe, getting European funds. So we are very proud on that, and our team is actively working on attracting money from all the possible sources. So lately, in a few last years, we got around 3 million euros of grants and 1 million in loans. So this is a good start for us to get the possibility for all our projects that we plan in the future. I will show you a few projects that we are in progress or are finished. This is an example of one infrastructural project, very important to us. It is location in the old center of Kastav, where we renovated an cultural monument, Trekvina, which is during the summer transformed in one of the most attractive and summer stage where for cultural and other programs. And connected to this project was a renovation of a main square in old center called Lokvina. Using European funds, we try to implement many smart solutions in everyday life of our citizens. So we make a solar station for e-bikes. We did smart crossings, smart public stations. We replaced all the traffic city lights with LED technology. And on more than 20 locations we put free Wi-Fi access points. Also, we developed a city application, which is interactive for our citizens. Citizens can communicate with us by that application. So it's one new way for us, like administration, to communicate with citizens. One of the recent projects financed from the program Horizon 2020 was a project called Muzetras, where we developed investment concepts for sharing, urban sharing, micromobility, and citizen-owned energy infrastructure. This is one soft project that we are very proud on. It is a project where we opened an innovation lab called InnoLab, where our students and school children work with mentors, learning how to work with new equipment, modern technologies, and trying to make new prototypes. We hope some of that prototypes will have commercial and investment potential. This is the project that is still in progress. It is a renovation of one brownfield location where will be new city administration building with a multifunctional city hall. This is a project that you will hear more lately from Renato, my colleague, and this was an old house in city center where we placed a small business incubator with a lot of programs for startuppers, for entrepreneurs, and freelancers. There are many activities, and we have a good partnership with investment banks, with university, creation service for employment, and other institutes. And for the end, just shortly about some project that we plan. This is one interesting project located in Old City Center. It is a new mobility hub or public garage placed in a landscape with green elements and smart concept. Also, we are working on a new cultural center Culture Center will have a big hall for more than 400 people for different cultural and social programs. There is planned a library and other commercial spaces. We have a project that is in progress, and we are working on the documentation for this project. This will be a new elementary school in Kastav. School will be based on high standards of building and also with the elements of green and smart solutions implemented in that building. Kastav, as we heard from Barbara, is a city with rich cultural heritage that we are very proud on. This is an example of renovation and putting in new activity our city walls. We plan new activities, new programs using sustainable materials and preserving all the greens around that. Connected to that project is a new interpretive center dedicated to Ivan and Vincent from Kastav and Gothic period, where we plan beside interpretation, we plan also spaces for researching and education for young people. This is one project in collaboration with University of Rijeka, and it's apartment for smart cities. We are developing a new residential area in Kastav, where all the buildings are planned with sustainable materials, using high technologies for everyday life, and incorporating green elements in all the infrastructure. Also, Kastav is invited to be a part of one new consortium that will be applied for European funding. It's there we in collaboration with the university, technological companies, and other institutions, we plan to work on the digital twins of cities. We have opportunity to get more information how to improve, to manage our communal infrastructure, better spatial planning, and other activities. So it's going to be one very interesting project for us. Also, we actively work on attracting European funds. So this year we applied five project proposals on Interreg. One in collaboration with our partners and friends from R&B Gate and Urban Center here in Italy, and we hope we will get results very soon. With that project, we are planned to make international startup center and secure programs for startups and other entrepreneurs. And for the end, I would just like to say that even we are small, we are very open for all kind of collaboration, finding new partners, especially international. And I think that the small cities can be really a good start changers, and we can do a lot. And we hope we will find other partners that share our ambitions and our vision. So thank you from me. Thank you.
So thank you very much. And really, I think it's something, Kastav is something really peculiar, because it's 11,000 people, so it's not that big, but it has a strategic position, but it's not enough. You have a really open mind, and there is a common perspective to reach, to follow the need that company, people, and the ecosystem needs. So you're trying to go green.
Yeah.
You're trying to increase and improve the life of the citizen. So taking the advantage, also because Croatia is quite new in Europe, but you're a representation of a good example of how Europe can help also a city. And you can be also an example of innovation in Croatia, but also on how the funds can help, not only in a single example unit company, but an ecosystem, so public and private. And it's something that also Urban Center is, because it's a public-private collaboration on an innovation in an innovation center. So I think there is a lot of point a point that we have in common, both with Urban Center, but also with Bio for Dreams, that is the main managing partner of the Urban Center, as incubator. In the early stage for startups, in the early stage of the development, but we can help in sharing also the opportunities from Italy to Croatia and vice versa. So thank you very much for this first
thank you for inviting us.
Introduction to your reality. We knew, so this is the reason, because we invite, because I think it's important. Also because like here in Urban Center, we have 2 startups that come from Slovenia, but we can also host and we can exchange also with Croatia startups. So thank you very much. So now we would like to introduce Urban Center Bio for Dreams to you. So I invite Marco here. And I kindly ask if I could have the presentation. Thank you very much. So here we are. We are here in the Urban Center that is, it is positioned as an international reference hub for 2 specific sectors. So the initial idea, this idea comes from the municipality of Trieste, that decide to dedicate an innovation center to 2 specific sectors. So bio high-tech and digital high-tech. Placed in Trieste. Trieste is the capital of Friuli Venezia Giulia region. We historically, I think we are quite innovative, like with the harbor. You can see from here the harbor, then we will take also a view of. And this was a very active city also through the Austro-Hungarian period. And now we develop a strong sense for science. So here in Trieste, we have a lot of service company, like I think one of the main is Generali, so it's quite well known around also the world. And both health service and like a science center, we have 2 universities and a lot of scientific centers. We can be like the ecosystem to develop and to bring, this is I think the most important, to bring the idea to the market, because it's the most difficult part is maybe not only having the idea, but develop it and bring to the market. So this was something very, I think, important, that both the region with the funds and the municipality of Trieste decide to renew this building. This was one of the first building of the port, the old port of Trieste, and to dedicate in a new way to the innovation. So they call with a public tender. They call different private partner. So you can see here, one you know is RMB Gate. It's an Italian company established here in Trieste, but is run by one of the main manager of IBM regarding research and innovation. Bio for Dreams, that is an incubator, private incubator in Milan. So also we can offer you the connection between MIND, Milan Innovation District, Trieste, and Croatia. BioValley Investment, that is another actor of the innovation, because it is an accelerator dedicated to the life science, and Polo Tecnologico Alto Adriatico, that is another incubator dedicated more for the industrial development, and in particular here it runs the Fab Lab, because the urban center offers different type of service for entrepreneur and innovation development. So the center is dedicated to innovation, promote entrepreneurship, both with event, but also with support, direct support that we can give to entrepreneur, but also willing to be entrepreneur, and try to put in communication different actors. So like here, Kastav with Bio for Dreams, but also we had events about art, digital application in art. So the idea is to promote the knowledge of the innovation. Most of the value of the center is the partnership we have built during these 2.5 years. And these are the partner we have in urban center, both at the from the beginning, that they support us for the tender, but also during the management. The urban center is developed on 3 floors. So on the ground floor, we have the Fab Lab. It's a demonstrative Fab Lab. So we share knowledge, instruction, and we are open to citizens for free, because everything here in urban center is supported by the European fund. So everything here from the Fab Lab, also material, machines are for free. Here at the cross-contamination floor, we offer events that are for free. And in particular, on the second floor that we will visit later, we host 22 startups for free. And they have not only the space, but they have all the support from us about grant office, about administrative supporting for a certain point of view that Marco will describe later. But I think like starting and giving the initial push to success, it's a very important project. We have had more than 200 events here at the first floor, and I think more than 160 in Fab Lab. We saw that through the pandemic period, people look at the event in a different way. So we register the event and we have a library. So we develop a library of innovation where people can go through the information they need in when they can. So we reach more than 50,000 people during this year. They are updated, up to date, but we really put in touch a lot of people and develop different projects. And one of the our main goal is to promote the connection between startups. So one can become from customer and provider of service or for product. So we go from Fab Lab in order to describe, to present like innovative tool to reskill people, because also coming from not here directly in Trieste, but like in Friuli Venezia Giulia, we have a lot of industries, but we need also to reskill people with different form of production, like 3D printer, laser cut, that can change the way the industry produce. So from the Fab Lab here to promote the innovation, but the main goal is the 22 startup we have at the second floor. And I give Marco the floor.
Thank you, Barbara. So I'm in charge of the activities with the startup here at the urban center. So these are all the 22 startups that are settled physically here. And as Barbara already said, all the startups belong to two different areas. So digital high-tech and bio-high-tech. But more specifically, all the startups can be divided into 5 categories. So most of them are related to the ambient assisted living sector. So they provide support to the old people. One startup deals with innovative therapy. 11 startups working in the digital sector, and this is really in line with current trends. 2 startups belong to the nutraceutical area, and 2 startups are developing a biomedical in vivo diagnostic. So they have a really wide, they span different sectors. For example, one startup that develops a digital solution, its market is the automotive sector. So they develop the digital solution for the automotive and the car sector. Most of the startups are in the early phase of their developmental stages. Some of them, although, are already on the market. So we support the startups, providing them different kind of support, and that's why they have different kind of developmental stage. For example, a startup that is already on the market has needs that are different toward a startup that is still developing its prototype. These are the services that are provided for free to the startups. Barbara already mentioned the grant office, but I'd like to add the fact that we support the startups by connecting them to the founding, to the venture, to the VC capital that can financially support the startups. And what I'd like to add to this presentation is the fact that the startups not only interacted with us as a managing partner of the urban center, but they started to connect each other. So a startup can be the client of another. So this is another way that the urban center is creating connection between the startups themselves. So this is really a short presentation about the startups that are settled here at the urban center, but later maybe we can go deeper into 2 startups that we think that they could have a connection with the innovative project that you're building in Kastav. So thank you very much for the attention again.
Now I would like to leave the speech to the Kastav incubator in order to present.
Hi, everybody. Thank you very much. My name is Renato, and this is my colleague, Martina, here. We primarily work at the City Department for Development and EU funds, but we are also managing the program at our business incubator called Kaspi. We are always seeking out opportunities to expand and to finance various activities in our incubator. So we are looking forward to new partnerships and new deals and new opportunities for that. Since we started our incubator, we found several strategic partners for the program, such as like a development agency, a tech company, employment agency, Faculty of Business and Economics, one commercial bank, one state bank. You can see some of the logos here represented on the screen. But of course, we also have the ambition to seek out additional partners as well. I need to mention that we were able to start this incubator, as also other things in our city as well, thanks to the support of European Union funds. And this was a project that lasted for 2 years and ended at the beginning of this year. And this helped us to sort of start and like kickstart the whole process of building this ecosystem that Barbara was mentioning earlier. So you can ask the question, what is Kaspi, or what is our incubator? So it is a modern business incubator, small one, which provides services to startups, mostly micro and small enterprises, freelancers, and digital nomads. So these are sort of the 3 target groups that we sort of designed the program around in our incubator. So the services we provide are very standard for business incubators. So we are running an incubation program for our startups, which usually lasts for 6 to 8 months. We invite startups to join our program once a year via public call. So this is very important for us to have a really nice reach. So even startups which are not from Kastav, but maybe from a wider Rijeka region or other parts of Croatia can also join our program. We also organize workshops for non-participants, so aimed mostly at local companies, which require some information about, for example, current financing option or digital transition options, or maybe some other aspects of doing business. We also organize events which help facilitate local companies and other important actors to meet each other and to try to sort of create networks around various opportunities. We also provide a service called a virtual office, which enables companies to register at the address of our incubator. So they can do business through us, receive mail through our system, finance their activities through our business support schemes. And finally, we rent out workspaces and co-working spaces. This includes a conference room for meetings, presentations, workshops, and so on. So it is important to mention that we primarily focus on supporting businesses that are developing in the fields of creative industries. This is, of course, because of this rich cultural heritage and heritage in general. Green economy and digital technologies, which of course are very necessary for doing any sort of future planning. But of course, we also support other companies if they don't generally fall into these 3 categories, but they have needs that we can provide a service to help them with their needs. So this is just a photo of the headquarters of our incubator before reconstruction. So a typical, very old house within the city center. And this is what it looks like now. So because this was our priority, we were able to sort of, well, not just build an incubator, but also maybe to show and to sort of reactivate this part of the city as well. So it's a relatively small building, as I said before, but we find that it's big enough for the current scale of our activities. So we wanted to start small and to see where it takes us. So, for example, we are now able to make some conclusions after the 2 years period, and then after 2 years, we'll make more conclusions, and we are able to constantly adapt our approach, which is, we feel, is necessary in a very dynamic environment, which we are currently at. This is not true, however, when it comes to renting out office spaces. We are definitely too small to service those needs. I think almost every week, Martina and I have letters of interest and various queries, but unfortunately, we don't have that much space to offer, and we are currently full. If we are talking about the workspace and the offices. So the next phase, I think, of the development of our incubator, if we are speaking about infrastructure, will definitely be more workspaces for companies, up to 5, maybe 10 people working for those companies. I should also mention that the building is fully automated, which means that everything is regulated through sensors and digital systems. So there is almost no need for Martina and myself to be physically present in the building, except maybe watering the plants, which is something that we were not able to automate, unfortunately. So now a few words about our incubation program. So far, we had 18 startups in this 2-year period, which we completed, or are in the process of completing the program. So the program looks like this. So first, we provide an intensive 1-month workshop, which helps to get everybody on a similar level of basic knowledge about business. Then we organize a series of workshops on specific topics, which range from marketing to financing and various other topics as well. And finally, in the last phase, we provide mentors to our startups in order to help them transition to the next phase of development. As I said before, we are always tweaking our approach all the time. So hopefully our experience from our relationship as well with the Urban Center, which will help us to steer us in the right direction for the next cycle of the program. As I said, we also organize various events. For example, here are some of the winners of our annual hackathon. So this is a format where we sort of invite young people to design innovative solutions to some of our real-world problems. But I think that's the general sort of good thing about being a city and creating public policies, because we are able to sort of present real world problems and then implement some of the solutions that we have in the policies that we create. So that's really something important. This is a photo from a recent panel discussion, for example, where we presented and discussed various topics about green urban renewal. Basically, the goal is to get more local companies interested, informed, and involved in this sector. Because, as Barbara said before, this ecosystem means that if we want to create a lot of solar panels on public buildings, it would be great if we would have the companies in Kastav who produce them, who make them, install them, service them, and so on. So that's something that we are trying to create. The panel discussion was a part of the event we started 2 years ago because we also find that it's very important to sort of popularize the idea of entrepreneurship, popularize various new trends that are coming up in order to get companies interested in maybe steering towards some of the more maybe some of the things that are more interesting to the market or in the future that we expect. Basically, it's a small expo that brings together innovators, technology companies, architects, urban planners, entrepreneurs, decision makers, and hopefully citizens as well. And here are some of the more photos of other various activities which I mentioned earlier. So basically, we really love to host people from all over the world that usually visit us through either summer school programs or official visits or other ways. So basically, we really want everybody to feel welcome in our city and sort of create an environment which is very open to doing business and doing partnership in the public sector and so on. So that's it for the presentation of the incubator. I now hand over the stage to Carlo, who is the leading man behind one of our current startups that we feel is sort of the ideal type of a startup that we would like to have in our business incubator. So here you go, Carlo.
So, hello everybody, and thank you for inviting us. It's really a privilege to be here and to represent my idea that I've been developing under Kaspi Incubator. So, Hatera Robotics, let's start with some kind of introduction. First, I would like to remember these words that a man who has a boat is happy, and he's even happier when he sells it. So we're gonna discuss why is that, and what are the main problems about the maintenance of the vessel, of the boat, small boats, especially in polishing. So Hatera Robotics is under Kaspi Incubator. The Hatera comes from our golden age from Fiume Rijeka industry called Hatera that even produces paper and chocolate in their history. So my kind of idea is to have that kind of name, and since we are have a ports, numbers of dry marinas and marinas as well, the come idea of boat polishing and how to improve that and develop and so on. Just the start of the beginnings. So why I'm in the robotics and why I want to develop in some kind of the industry. So I was the first student in Croatia that developed based on eMove robot, humanoid robot, and all that kind of experience during that kind of project all by myself. I want to something apply on the industry as well, and to connect the sea, the Fiume Rijeka industry, all that kind of big heritage and history as well. So when I started at Kaspi Incubator, the first was not polishing, but underwater robots. But by developing the ideas, I can see that we already have kind of that robots, especially in Italy. It's very familiar, Kill Crab, that works with underwater robots. So I just leave that kind of idea and develop into something different for the dry marinas. So when the boats are on the shore, on the ground, and how to make some kind of efficiency with the polishing services that have that kind of job to polish the robot. So we're talking about a non-underwater robot, especially those kind of problems are often with when you have a boat in and out water, and of course both owners and both maintenance companies have this problem. So our solution, or in Hatera Robotics, is to make an autonomous, not underwater robot, but first in the couple maybe years next for the small boats, and maybe we're gonna develop and scale that number of meters in the land. Using different algorithms, robots that moves around the whole of the boat as well. So there are so many tasks that you can do by maintaining your vessel, your boat, but our in Hatera Robotics is just special in polishing, because when I started, even we have some kind of prototyping, there's a lot of situation that you have taken in consideration and to make a successful polishing just for one kind of paste. And even myself, I put doing that kind of task to see and literally use that polisher, use that paste and polish myself, because one of the known people and colleagues also have that kind of company that service polishing. And I said the first thing, I want to talk to the customer and what the customer wants from that kind of robot. And this is like a mobile app that is currently developing to use. You're just a normal mobile phone, smartphone, and you have all this kind of status and quick start with your robot that polishes, and you receive all that kind of notifications and everything what is important to know in doing that job. So the idea was, and it's still developing, maybe later on the start of the next year, the first prototype will came on the site, because everything in robotics, you have a different fields of mechanical engineering, designing, and programming as well. And since I have that kind of experience with the humanoid robot, I do everything for now. So from the prototyping, all the 3D printers, using a lot of 3D printings, very thankful to have that kind of technology to use that. And yeah, that's for now, for sure that it's already have their first designs and prototyping as well. So, of course, we already told that we are developing a robot for polishing ships. So the target market is boat owners and companies that offer cleaning services. And I would like to highlight that by doing the lots of interview with the other customers, they say, wait a minute, we don't want to lose our jobs and so on. And that's a question that I'm being asking a lot of time. But when I said, let's take, you need for that kind of small boat, about 5 to 6 hours to polish it all successfully and to have a different paste, heavy paste, medium paste, and the end washing. Then when I said, well, you have to think like a tool, something you have a polisher ready to help you to make a big efficiency. And just imagine that you are sitting and doing that kind of job that robot can do, but some of the skills maybe that it's not necessarily connected with the polishing. It could be everything else. By maintaining the boat, you can use that time that is not wasted and use your human skills that is really required to do that kind of delicate task. Of course, generate income through the sales of the robots. And this is kind of, let's switch to the numbers. So even 10% of this revenue for maintaining is used for the ship's maintenance. So especially by interviewing the different customers, everybody needs at least one time a year to pull the boat from the shore and bring it to the dry marinas and to have that kind of maintenance. So it's very necessary to do if you want to look good at tourists and to rent a boat, since the Croatia is maybe the top of 3 of renting boats, and especially charters and so on. So everybody wants at the last time to look big and successful and have a clean boat. So that's the robot what comes, and to have that kind of quick start. So our plan is to grow on the national, of course, and the European level. So that's the why. And I'm so glad to be here at the Urban Center, and to Kaspi that invited me as well to be in this group. So we can share that kind of idea, also establishing the corporation. But when you're in a startup, you want to, have a big number of customers that you can interview, but as well, you have to do so many research and to give that feedback and to develop all over again. And for now, the Hartera Robotics is the first stage, designing and engineering. We also already have printed some kind of the examples of that robot, and of course the software games and all other stuff. Since we were talking about the robotics, we have also and software and hardware and all this kind of thing. And by the end of the year, my plan is like testing really on the site with that robot and do different sides of the boats and see if it's good or not, or how to develop that kind of robot as well. And yeah, for the end, if you have kind of Q&A, of course, we can discuss it later on. And thank you for your attention.
So thank you very much for all the introduction and description, both of the city, the incubator, and interesting startups. Then we can also think to collaborate on the development. And I hope this is, yes, the first, the start of the beginning of a new collaboration, also to share opportunity, like having, for example, the virtual office. It's opening opportunity to both countries to develop the business and to share also the market, because like Croatia has a lot of cost, but Italy too. Mm-hmm. So like here we have one of the main producer, boat ship producer, like Fincantieri. So maybe it's not 5-6 meter, but we can share like a feedback about. We have, I don't know if you know Monte Carlo. Monte Carlo is another yacht producer. So like this is an example of how we can collaborate through borders, finally, we don't have borders anymore between us. And so I hope to having the opportunity to share knowledge, innovation, and this path to a better world.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was a great sort of introduction to what can be done in our region, I would say. What we found is, maybe it's more the case for Croatia than Italy, but we find that we are really lagging in some things in relation to other more successful parts of the European Union, I think. And the only way to do it is to jump more steps than by going like one by one. And so I think the great way to do this is to sort of use all the resources that we can to start like really doing things that make sense. Like, for example, of course, we can do typical things like renovating some old walls around the city. Of course, this is necessary, it needs to be done, but we also need to create even more effort in creating these opportunities and ways to kickstart local economies, to kickstart this exchange of information and various experiences. As you said, maybe we have some resource and you have some resource, and then why not work together and try to be the successful region.
Sharing knowledge, sharing contacts, sharing the opportunities, because I think only having together we can reach some success. Like, I think both I really like how Kastav goes through to innovation, and also from the beginning, so like from idea, startups, but also from open innovation. So going through big cities, companies, sharing, having a feedback, like the project you invite us. It's interesting because it takes a lot of actors of different levels, so like architects, but also companies. So it's something that can enhance the economy of the place.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, the things about cities like Kastav who are actually growing, which is not the case anymore, I think, for a lot of European cities in general. So I think the great thing is that you get presented with many problems in regards to like communal infrastructure or public infrastructure or various things, and then you need to find solutions for that, and you need to do it quickly, because so a great way to do it is to work together with local resources to try to find it, whether it's to find a solution, whether it's a university or it's a partner of some sort or some company or some startup even, and then you can try to do something. That I think that's the innovation part, and I think it's possible within our context. I think it wouldn't be possible, like, I don't know, maybe in
a more established, fixed, or at least old, like Trieste. The inhabitants of Trieste is stable, I think, more or less for 100 years or something like that. So we have some problem about or the issue, maybe more than public transportation, hospitals, so all the public service we have. But maybe you have the opportunity to go directly to something innovative, more innovative. So not to be stuck to maybe an old choice.
Exactly. And I mean, Trieste is a well-established city, as you said, and it's a slightly bigger city than I think the average in Europe. And I think sometimes the things about like ready-made solutions for various things it works in Trieste, but it doesn't work in Kastav because of different scales. So I think it's great if we work together, because then we can see whether some solutions that we have scale up either or the other way around. So I think that's the reason for working together.
Thank you again. And I think it's a great opportunity also for the Italian ecosystem to get in touch with the Croatian ecosystem.
I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you.